Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, thank you all very much. And I'm seeing that there are some very exalted devotees here, like some GBC members, some sannyasis, some very senior devotees. So I sincerely request them to tolerate if there is any mistake on my part in my presentation, and if you feel like adding something to this, please also feel free to do that. See, the topic is the only hope for this world. Naturally, it leads to, or it implies, Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the only hope for this world. Besides that, there is no other way, no other way, no other way. We all are very fortunate that we somehow or other came in contact with Srila Prabhupada and his teachings, and we found the ultimate solution to all problems. And that's what I would try to discuss systematically. Like, I'll be giving three classes, 3 sessions, today, tomorrow, and on the 19th, same time, 4:45. And in these 3 days, I will try to cover, like today, first of all, I would like to give you all the overall picture of this 3 sessions that I'll be conducting. And then today we'll also try to discuss about that how critical the condition of this world is, and naturally leading to the solution. And then in tomorrow's class we will discuss about the special purpose of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance in this age. And then on the 3rd session I will try to discuss about Srila Prabhupada, his mission in this world, and the importance of an institution to continue that mission. So, the world situation, the way it is today, actually if we look at it from the eyes of the scriptures, then we can see that it was inevitable. It has been predicted. It has been described what's going to happen now and in future. The scripture gives a very clear understanding of that. What will happen in the age of Kali. I mean, mind you, this is just the beginning of the age of Kali, the Pratham Sandha, the first conjunction of transition from Dwapar Yug to Kali Yug. Only 5,000 out of 432,000 years have elapsed. So, but we can see the condition. But the sandhas are very intense actually. The sandhas bring the effect very intensely, intensify the effects. And that's what we are actually seeing. Like, towards the end of Kali, we can't even imagine how it's going to be like. it has been described that the cows won't give milk. The fruits will be only the skin and the seed. And the grains, the grain producing plants like the paddy and etc., they'll become like grass. Their size will become like grass. So you can well imagine what will be there for anyone to eat. There won't be any milk, there won't be any fruits, there won't be any grains. So what they will eat? Naturally, they'll start to eat flesh. And you know eventually what may happen when there is nothing to eat, what will happen? Anyway, I don't want to even get into that, people will become cannibals. They'll kill each other and eat each other. And you can see that how real those predictions are. Like one of the predictions in one of the Puranas is that everything will turn upside down in the age of Kali. Like in the sense, the sinful people will enjoy, the sinners will enjoy, and pious people will suffer. General condition is that the pious people enjoy and sinful people suffer. But in the age of Kali, the sinful people will enjoy and pious people will suffer. Of course, that doesn't imply that you should become sinful than pious. We are in a different platform altogether. Krishna consciousness is beyond that sin and piety. So we don't need to worry about that. And we can see, just consider, how authentic, how real those predictions are. Just consider deserts. What kind of people are born in the desert? What kind of people are made to take birth in deserts? The most sinful people. Because desert is a place where there is nothing to eat and no water to drink. So most sinful people are made to take birth in the deserts. But today you look at the situation, the desert people have become most prosperous. Look at the Middle East. And what is the value of things? The garbage has become the most expensive thing. You see, fossil fuel is actually the garbage of this world, garbage of this earth. That's why it's kept under the desert and under the ocean. Now that has become the most precious commodity. Oil has become the most precious commodity. In the Middle East, people have become so wealthy, in Saudi Arabia and other countries there. They have become so wealthy because they have oil. Oil means the garbage of this earth, and that has become the most. And why they become most precious commodity? Because the machines. That's another thing about the age of Kali. Iron age, the age of machines. The natural source of energy have become redundant. Like bullocks, oxen, horses, they're of no use nowadays. Because the machines have taken over. They're a lot more powerful than those animals. And to run those, what do we need? We need oil, fossil fuel. And that's why they have become so precious commodity. And this prediction goes to the extent of even saying that in this age, the lamps will burn with the wicks pointing downwards. Usually how the lamps burn. There is a wick pointing upwards, there is fuel, oil or something, ghee, and that's how it burns. But it's saying that in this age, the lamps will burn with the wicks pointing downwards. How things will become upside down. Now look at these lamps. The filament is pointing downwards. So this is how the scriptures have been predicting about the situation. There are such informations in Bhavishya Puran, Kalki Puran, even Srimad Bhagavatam. Now let's go to some of the things that Prabhupada also said, quoting the scriptures. Prabhupada is saying, Srimad Bhagavatam predicts that in Kali Yuga, the government will be entrusted with Dashu Dharma, which means the occupational duty of rogues and thieves. Dashu. Dashu means bandits. The big thieves, smaller ones are thieves, and the bigger ones are bandits. The difference between thief and bandit is that the thieves steal, but bandits kill, and then they take your wealth. So, the government will become Dashus. Dashu Praishu Rajanneshu. Rajanna, the kings, the Dashus, the robbers and the bandits will become the kings in this age. And Prabhupada is elaborating that point. Which means modern heads of state are rogues and thieves who plunder the citizens instead of giving them protection. Like the responsibility of a king is to give protection. Kshatriya, the word Kshatriya means Kshatat Trayate iti Kshatriya. The one who gives protection from injury, Kshat, is a Kshatriya. So the kings and the Kshatriyas' responsibility was to give protection to the citizens. But in this age, what's happening? The so-called, first of all, there is no king. The age of democracy. And those who are becoming leaders through popular vote, we are seeing what they are like. They are simply plundering the wealth of the citizens. They come to it's a known fact nowadays that the political leaders, they try to win the election because they'll come to power and they will make a lot of money. It's a known fact. Otherwise, why they want to become political leaders? Why they spend so much money to win the election? Not to serve the people, but to make profit, big time profit. Spend a few $1 billion and make a profit, 3 times, 4 times more profit. So this is what is happening, and mind you, this is just the beginning. What's going to happen? You know what will happen? Anyway, Prabhupada is saying that also. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the lawmakers themselves plunder the citizens. The next prediction will be fulfilled, which is already coming to pass, is that because of the sinful activities of the citizen and the government, rain will become increasingly scarce. Actually, before that, there is another factor. Like the rulers or the political leaders or the leaders of the government, they will extract in such a way that people will run away from cities and villages and take shelter in the forest just to stay away from those people, because they'll be extracting them in such a way in the form of tax and various other ways. And the result is because of these sinful activities, apparently it may appear that these sinful individuals are enjoying. And it is a fact nowadays, we can see that. Do you know what is the most lucrative business today? The most lucrative business today is gambling, prostitution, drug trafficking, and meat. See? Meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling. These are the 4 places of Kali. These are the 4 principal sinful activities. And these activities have become the source of income. Because they have become so prevalent that when you indulge in these supply, the demand is incredible. And you make incredible amount of profit. So apparently it is happening, but ultimately they may have a lot of money, but then what? Do they really enjoy? No, they are suffering. They may have a lot of money, but internally they are suffering so much that they have to resort to taking heavy drugs. Otherwise they can't sleep. They have to take drugs, heavy drugs. And just to stabilize their shaky situation, they have to drink. Anything they do, the first thing they do is just drink. That's the norm in today's world. Otherwise, they can't really deal with the situation. They go to a party, what's the first thing they do? They're going to enjoy. Apparently, they're going to enjoy. But how they're enjoying? In order to enjoy, they have to get drunk. In their stable mind, they cannot really. But the thing is that the actual effect of sinful activities is going to happen, which will mean there won't be rain. And I notice that nowadays that when we fly, we see the rivers are dry. Everywhere the rivers are dry. They're drying out. Of course, there is other reasons for that. To run their industry, they have to take water from the river in such a way that the rivers are becoming dry. You all know probably that Jamuna is not Jamuna anymore after Delhi, when it comes to Delhi. Because prior to coming to Delhi, they are cultivating rice, the basmati rice, and it needs a lot of water. And all the water, Jamuna water, is going into cultivate those lands. And when it comes to Delhi, what is Jamuna is getting is all the garbage from the industries. When Jamuna comes to Vrindavan, actually it's not really Jamuna. It's the garbage of Delhi. So, Mahamantra Prabhu is shaking his head because he knows better than any one of us. Isn't it? Yeah. So, this is the situation. There won't be any rain, and it's already happening. Recently, or not recently, for last few years, Australian situation, there was no rain. Only recently there had been some rain. Otherwise, there was no rain. And there was no rain, and what happened? Forest fire. A massive forest fire. In that, not only everything has been destroyed in that forest fire, billions of animals have died. The number of animals runs into billions. Human beings, fortunately, have been evacuated, but still there are hundreds of people dead in that forest fire, and inconceivable amount of properties have been burnt out. So this is the situation of this world. It's already happening. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, the lawmakers themselves plunder the citizens. The next prediction to be fulfilled which is already coming to pass, is that because of the sinful activities of the citizens and the government, rain will become increasingly scarce. Gradually, there will be complete drought and no production of food grains. People will be reduced to eating flesh and seeds. And many good, spiritually inclined people will have to forsake their homes because they will be too harassed by drought, taxation, and famine. And then Prabhupada is making the point, that is what inspired me actually to select this topic. Prabhupada is saying, the Krishna consciousness movement is the only hope to save the world from such devastation. It is the most scientific and authorized movement for the actual welfare of the whole human society. Prabhupada's purport from 5th canto, 2nd chapter, 1st verse. And then it goes into that prediction, Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto. We all are familiar with that prediction because we heard it many, many times. Kaler doshe nidhe rajan, Shukdev Goswami, at the end, at 12th canto, is telling Parikshit Maharaj about different ages and their characteristics. And he is describing the characteristic of the age of Kali. Kaler doshe nidhe rajan, asti hi eko mahan guna, kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha param prajet. Although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, dosher nidhe, it's an ocean, nidhi means an ocean. It's an ocean of sinful activities. It's an ocean of fault, ocean of defects. There is still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. See, this is the solution. And Prabhupada actually pointed out at many times that this is the advantage of the age of Kali. In one hand, it's a terrible place to be in, terrible time to be in. It's the most degraded place, it's the most degraded of all times. It's a terrible time to be, the age of Kali. But asti eka mahan guna, it has one great advantage. And that is just by chanting the holy name, one can get the opportunity to go back to Godhead, just by chanting. And the next verse is actually saying, Krite jad dhayate Vishnu, Tretayam jajate makho, Dwapare paricharjayam kalu tadhari kirtan. 4 different ages have 4 different Yuga Dharmas. The Yuga Dharma of the age of Satya Yuga is meditation. Krite jad, Krita Yuga means Satya Yuga. Krite jad dhayate Vishnu, the benefit that one derives by meditating, not by meditating, but achieving the perfection of meditation. By achieving the perfection of meditation, meaning samadhi. Seeing the Lord in the core of the heart. The same perfection is achieved in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifice. The Lord appears from the sacrificial fire and fulfills everyone's desires. Meaning allows him, enables one to go back to Godhead. Then, in Dwapar Yuga, by worshipping the Lord in the temple. Kalu tad hari kirtana, that the benefit that is derived by performing those activities in 3 different ages, the same benefit can be derived just by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Kirtana deva Krishnasya, the holy name of Krishna, chanting the holy name of Krishna. And the chanting can be of 3 kinds: japa, for our individual purification, kirtan, loudly chanting, whereby we derive the benefit ourselves, and engaging others in that we derive the benefit. And then Sankirtan, congregational chanting, involving everyone chanting the holy name of the Lord. And the benefit is, those who are chanting, they derive the benefit. Those who hear the benefit. Those who hear, they derive the benefit. And as far as the sound vibration goes, the whole atmosphere becomes purified. So that is the Yuga Dharma for this age. And so, the condition of the age of Kali has been described again in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 1st chapter, 10th verse. Prayanal payusa sabhya kalavashmin juge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagga hi upadrita. The condition of the age of Kali, the people in the age of Kali, they are lazy. Mind you, this is a prediction. 5,000 years back, these predictions were made. Sukadeva Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj. Or the sages of Naimi, Sutta Goswami is telling the sages of Naimisharan. Vasudev is writing down 5,000 years ago it happened. But it's giving the condition of this age, the people in this age. In this iron age of Kali, men have but short lives. They're quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. Because of the bad qualities of the age of Kali, human beings will become short-sighted, unfortunate, gluttonous, lustful, and poverty-stricken. The women, becoming unchaste, will freely wander from one man to the next. These are the predictions. These are from Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, 3rd chapter, when Sukadeva Goswami is speaking about Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, men will be wretched and controlled by women. They will reject their father, brothers, other relatives and friends, and will instead associate with the sisters and brothers of their wives. Thus, their conception of friendship will be based exclusively on sexual ties. Men will no longer protect their elderly parents, their children, or their respectable wives. Thoroughly degraded, they will care only to satisfy their own bellies and genitals. O king, in the age of Kali, people's intelligence will be diverted to atheism, and they'll almost never offer sacrifice to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the supreme spiritual master of the universe. Although the great personalities who control 3 worlds all bow down to the lotus feet of that Supreme Lord, the petty and miserable human beings of this age will not do so. Although the most exalted personalities bow down to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the wretched people of this age of Kali won't do that. Jang Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutai Stunnanti Divvaistavai. Divvaistavai, with their transcendental prayers. Who are those personalities? Brahma, Lord Shiva, Varuna, these demigods worship him. Not for nothing. There must be some reason why they worship him like that. Because they recognize his position and the benefit of being surrendered to him. But the Miserable living entities of the age of Kali will not do that, in general. Of course, those who do that, they're truly fortunate. Okay, so I'll just go to the next point, 11th canto, 5th chapter, 32nd verse, is saying, describing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the incarnation in this age. Krishna Varnam Disha Krishnam Sangha Pangastra Parshadam Jaggai Sankirtana Prayir Jajantihi Sumedhasaha. Yes, this is the process. This is the incarnation in this age of Kali, and this is the process. The incarnation in this age, the Supreme Personality of Godhead doesn't come as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He comes as a devotee. He doesn't come in his Shyam Sundar form, hiding his identity with the golden complexion of Srimati Radharani and assuming the mood of Srimati Radharani. In this age, Krishna comes. Tisha Akrishnam, but Krishna Varnam, Krishneti Varnadvai, these two syllables, Krishna. Chanting these two syllables, Krishna, this personality, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will appear. Tisha Akrishnam, assuming a non-darkish complexion. Krishna is Shyam Sundar, beautiful, dark complexioned. But in this age, he won't come assuming his darkish complexion. He'll assume in a non-Shyam, non-Krishna form. So this is also an interesting thing to consider. Krishna comes in in 4 ages, in 4 different complexions. Ashan Varna, Strayo, Grinhati, Anujugang Tanu. According to different age, he assumes different forms. Tanu. Shukla, Rakta, Stathapita, Idaning Krishna Tangata. Now he has appeared in Krishna complexion. But in other 3 ages, he comes assuming white, reddish, and molten golden complexion. Now the point is, in Satyuga he appeared assuming his whitish complexion. In Treta Yuga he appeared with his reddish complexion. In Dwapar Yuga he appeared in his darkish complexion. So which one is left? Molten golden complexion. So Krishna, the Krishna means assuming the molten golden complexion, which is the complexion of Srimati Radharani. So Krishna appeared, Krishna Varnam, Tisha Akrishnam. And how will he come? Sangha Pangastra Parshadam. He will come with his associates, with his entourage, and with his weapon. Now this is another important consideration. With his weapon. The Lord appears with his weapon. But in this age of Kali, he appears with a very special type of weapon. And what is that weapon? Krishna Prema Pradayate. Prem. With other ages, he kills the demons with his weapons. With his chakra, with his bow and arrow, with his mace, with his sword. But in this age, he has come with a very special weapon to kill the demons. Not to kill the demons, but the demoniac propensities in everyone's heart. If he had to kill in this age, then he had to slaughter everyone, practically. That he'll do at the end of Kali Yuga. When he'll come as Kalki, he'll kill everyone, practically. Only the saintly ones will be spared, and with them the Satya Yuga will start. But that's a long way to go, another 427,000 years. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. And what is the process? The process is Sankirtan. And Sankirtan actually is the Yajna. What is the purpose of Yajna? Why Yajna? What is the meaning of Yajna and what's the purpose of Yajna? Krishna is telling that in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Ishtan bhogan hiva deva dashante Yajna bhavita toir dattan apradayabhyo jo bhungte stena eva saha. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods. What is the purpose of what is the business of the demigods? Why are they there? They are actually taking care of different departments. Like they take care of, like for example, in a state or in a city, there are different facilities provided by the city authorities. And there are different departmental heads. Like there is a water supply department, there is wind department, there is public welfare department, there is education department. And there are some heads of those departments. So, they are providing various facilities, and while we are accepting those facilities, in return we have to pay them. Like we are using electricity. At the end of the month, we get the bill. And if we give the bill, if we pay the bill, then the supply will continue. But if we fail to give, then the supply will be cut. So these demigods are departmental heads, and they are providing various necessities of our life. And in return, we have to pay them the tax, which is the Yajna. Yajna means paying the demigods the duly presented bills. But those who don't do that, stena eva hisa, they're stealing. They're taking advantage but not paying, they're stealing. And the result of that, what will happen? Not only the supply will be cut, but they will be punished. And also in the 3rd chapter, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, Yajna shishtasino santo mucchante sarvakil vishayi bhunjate te taghang papa je pachanti atma karanat. Santa, the saintly personalities, the devotees of the Lord, are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. So when the food is offered to the Lord, then that food becomes the cause of our release from material bondage and from our sinful activities. And again, those who don't do that, they simply eat the only sins. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment, verily eat only sin. And then Krishna is telling the 14th verse of 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjannad anna sambhava jagyad bhavati parjanya yagga karma samudbhava. The real sign of prosperity. Living entities survive eating food. The food is produced because of rain. Rain comes because of yajna. Therefore, one must perform yajna. Now we go back to the main point. What is the yajna for this age? Not Agnishtam yajna, not Ashwamedh yajna, not Gomedh yajna. These yajnas are not prescribed for this age. Mainly because we are not capable of performing those yajnas. Therefore, Krishna has simplified the process of yajna, Sankirtan yajna. And if we simply perform this yajna, then everything will be provided. Everything will be provided. As he is saying, not only the food, but all the necessities of life. And this is how the real prosperity will prevail. So again we are going back to the point, what is the hope for this age? Sankirtan. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very mercifully gave it to us, this process. He has been described, him and Nityananda Prabhu have been described as the two fathers of this Sankirtan Yajna. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato Sankirtanaika pitaro. Pitaro in Divachan, two numbers. Pitaro, two fathers of this Sankirtan. As if Sankirtan is the child and the fathers are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. And their identity have been described. Ajanulambita bhujo. Their arms stretch up to their knees. That's a sign of a Mahapurush. That's a sign of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ajanulambita bhujo. Kanakavadato. Their complexion is like molten gold. Kanakavadato. And they are the two fathers of Sankirtan Yajna. Sankirtanaika pitaro. Kamalaya taksho. Their eyes are like wide as lotus petals. Kamalaya taksho. Vishambharo dijavaro. They are the maintainer of this universe. And they are the best of the Brahmanas. They appear in the Brahmana family, so they are the best of the Brahmanas. Dijavaro. Bande Jagat Priyakaro Karuna Avataro. They are the most munificent incarnation of the Lord. So this is what we received from Srila Prabhupada. This is what we received from our previous acharyas in our disciplic succession. And this is the perfect manifestation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. It is the most munificent appearance of the Lord, and this is His gift to all of us. So we are fortunate that we found it. Now it's up to us to go out and distribute it. That is how this world is going to be saved. Prabhupada also said that the world situation is so precarious, Third World War would have taken place a long time ago. And even the political experts also say that. Like I remember some article in the early 80s I read by one such expert, and he's actually telling that how surprising it is that you see at that time the Cold War was going on, the Eastern European bloc and America, the Communist bloc and America. There was a war was going on, but it's a Cold War, and it came to a brink of a war, like probably you remember Cuba. Russia was about to set their base in Cuba. At that time, John F. Kennedy was the President of America, and he gave the ultimatum: if Russia does that, they'll get into war with Russia. And Khrushchev was the head of the state premier. He backed out. And as a result of that, Khrushchev was ousted from his position, because that was a real defeat for Russia. And that's the most wonderful stand that John F. Kennedy took at that time. I mean, we can see that how close they came to war. But it didn't happen. And Prabhupada commented, the Third World War didn't take place because the Sankirtan movement is spreading. Because the Sankirtan movement is spreading, that's why Krishna is preventing the world from his disaster. So there are so many wonderful signs, there are so many wonderful indications, and let's just take this with full conviction and let's carry on promoting Krishna consciousness, because that's the only way that this world can be saved. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Do you have any time for question answers? Till 6 o'clock. Okay. So any question? Yes, Maharaj. Do we have a mic?
Hello. We hear that it is predicted that the coming 10,000 years will be the golden period, golden age in Kali Yuga. So can we expect that at least the 10,000 years to come?
Yes, sure.
The world situation is going to...
Yes. That golden age actually started by Srila Prabhupada. The seed of that age was planted by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan practically got lost. Mahaprabhu's teachings and Mahaprabhu's Dham practically disappeared. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur started to revive. And then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave it a shape. Then Prabhupada took it and spread it all over the world. And that's what we are going to discuss afterwards, that the importance of an institution. You see, Prabhupada came and he set it up, the mission. How to continue the mission? The continuity of the mission will depend upon the institution, the collective endeavor through an institution. And that's why ISKCON institution is so important. So we'll discuss about that in future.
The BJP government coming in power in India and Modi, BJP government heading the country and Modi being in power is also an arrangement of Krishna that it will favor the...
Yeah, they will come and go. You see, until Krishna conscious leaders come, this is not, they are not going to be able to properly succeed. They'll come and go. They come with so much hope, right? Gandhi came with so much hope, right? As a failure. Nehru came with so much hope, failure. So one after another, these leaders are coming. Like finally, Narendra Modi became. It was not BJP actually; it was Narendra Modi. Good man, no doubt about that. But the thing is, we can see that because he is not Krishna conscious, his effort is not going to be successful. So, okay, if we go to that, then we have to say that we have to have Krishna conscious government. The Krishna conscious, Prabhupada is actually mentioning that in one of his Bengali poetry. In one of his Bengali poems, he is actually saying that when the Krishna conscious leaders will come into power of leading the nation with popular vote and lead the country. That is the solution. Unless and until they become Krishna conscious, it won't work. So we have to, it will happen. It will happen. Krishna consciousness is spreading. Krishna consciousness is spreading. We are seeing, especially in India, how wonderful it's spreading. And it's going to increase in much greater dimension. And it's not surprising that someday, some Krishna conscious devotees will form a political party and eventually they will win the election. It may take time, but it will happen. And unless and until Krishna conscious government comes, there is no hope for this world. Okay. Yes, give him the mic.
Hare Krishna. The Sankirtan movement of Mahaprabhu is spreading, and it will last for another movement of Prabhupada will last for another 10,000 years. It is predicted by Prabhupada. So how Kali Yuga is spreading its activities, why it is spreading its activities and footsteps, it is visible that Kali Yuga is spreading. Why it is happening?
I couldn't get your point. What is your point?
Sankirtan movement is continued and its activities we are spreading, and many people, devotees, they are spreading the Sankirtan movement of Mahaprabhu.
Yeah.
But similarly, by side, the activities of Kali Yuga, that is also spread in large.
Yeah.
So why it is
good
happening?
Point. Okay, I got it. But you see, Sankirtan Yogya now started, this is the beginning stage. Prabhupada started Krishna consciousness movement only about 50 years back, 55 years back. Right? So it's just the very beginning stage. Kali has already got his heyday for last 5,000 years. It took him 5,000 years to come to this point. So to counteract Kali, it will take some time. Now the question is what we are going to do. What we all are going to do. If we just don't take it up seriously, then it won't happen. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants it to spread. But he wants it to spread through us, through his devotees. But if the devotees don't take it upon themselves, then what will happen? Therefore, get fired up. Don't just... my point is, don't be satisfied just following 4 regulative principles and chanting 16 rounds. That's the very basic. That is not the ultimate point. That's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is get up and spread Krishna consciousness. If nothing, take the mridanga and kortal and go onto the streets and start chanting Hare Krishna congregationally. These are the things that we have to do to make it happen. Yes, if we just do that, if we take mridanga and kartal and go onto the streets and chant, it will happen. An example, Japan was going to bomb Calcutta. You know that, in 44, I think. Japan was going to bomb Calcutta because Calcutta was a big base of the British army. And people are evacuating the city. They're running away from the city because the Japanese are going to bomb. One of Prabhupada's godbrothers who was staying at Prabhupada's place at that time, he was leaving. So he was going to Mayapur, coming to Mayapur. And he asked Prabhupada, "Aren't you coming?" Prabhupada said, "No." "What will you do?" And Prabhupada said, "I'll go and I'll stay here and chant Sankirtan." And Prabhupada did that. With his servant and one or two other boys, he took with mridanga and kartal and he went out chanting. Right? And of course, seeing him chanting, many people actually got inspired and also joined him. Now, Japan didn't bomb. They altered their strategy. Now, we may say, well, Japan altered their strategy, but why did they do that? Our simple consideration is that because Prabhupada was chanting Hare Krishna in the streets of Calcutta, Krishna saved Calcutta from being bombed. So this is the power of the holy name. And with that conviction, we should go out and start chanting the holy name. Not just in japa, but not only kirtan, but sankirtan. And that is the Juga Dharma, that is the Jagga Sankirtan of Prayoj. So don't worry about Kali's effect. Like Pandavas, did they get worried about Duryodhana's army, which was much stronger, much bigger, much more powerful than his army? Why he didn't bother about that? Because he knew that he has Krishna with him, and he is with Krishna. So no matter how powerful our enemy is, we shouldn't worry about that. Because we know that Krishna will smash them. Alright? Thank you. Any other question? Yes? Give the mic here.
Alright, nice to see you here. My question is that you talked about current political situation in India, and you said that the person is nice, but then it didn't work out. So what I'm seeing is that we have Krishna consciousness, but then we see different temples have problems. So even though, the belief is there and everyone is Krishna conscious, but still there is always leg pulling in one way or the other. So you said that if Krishna consciousness, the government is Krishna conscious, it'll save the country. But how would we make sure that, we are not deteriorating within?
Not make sure, but be sure.
Yeah.
Have faith. Whatever is happening, we have to recognize this is a very young movement. Prabhupada started whatever he did in 10 years' time, and then he left. Like this movement is like a toddler. So yes, we are faltering, we are slipping, we are having difficulties. But in course of time, the toddlers will grow up and they'll start to walk on their feet. So the mistakes that are being made, difficulties that we are facing now, is only a passing stage. This movement is here to stay, and this movement is here to save the world. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrangement. It's not just some accidental happening that Bhakti Vinod Thakur came, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur came, Srila Prabhupada came. Actually, it is unusual phenomena to have three such luminaries, three such giants of spiritual personalities come in this succession. And then Prabhupada created the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. That is how the movement is going to grow. This institution of ISKCON is going to make it happen. Or rather, through this ISKCON, things will happen. Therefore, we have to protect this institution with all our might and become engaged in the serving the institution, fulfilling the mission of Srila Prabhupada. You see, mistakes are being made. What are those mistakes? Petty personal interest. Why people fight? Just to fulfill their own personal agenda. But when we become pure, Anna Bhilashita Sunnam, no other desire but to serve Krishna. That is the symptom of pure devotion. So in course of time, when we become pure, this movement will start to spread in leaps and bounds. Therefore, let's not worry about what is happening here and there. Let's carry on with our own conviction. If others are failing, what to do? But let's make it a point that we are not going to fail. Okay, so 2 more minutes. If anybody wants a question, ask a question. I can take the last question. Okay, Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatadi Shatari.